Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to episode number 7 of the Realm of Fries. As you know by now, I am your host, Five Large Fries, and joining to me today is Flatline Plays
Huzzah!
and Inferno Rouge 8D.
All right.
I have to ask every episode, do you want me to just call you Inferno Rogue? Because everyone calls you Inferno Rogue? Because, like, how are people going to know, like, listening to an audio podcast, like, oh yeah, I can't find this Inferno Rogue guy. There's this Rouge, there's a Rouge, but there's no...
Yeah, you can't just say Inferno, can you? Because it's an audio podcast, you know? You're going to have to say Rouge, man. It's going to have to.
Yeah.
Rouge 8D.
Gonna be,
Rouge.
gonna
With
be
a tiny stump.
Oh dear. How you boys doing anyway?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Let's say I got a day off today, so not much to go on. It's good, man.
Nice. What about you, Mr. Rouge?
Just chilling. Chilling.
Nice.
Busy week, just chilling.
Yeah. This week's been absolutely wild. Some good stuff and some not so good stuff, and in fact, the not so good stuff's absolutely fucking dreadful. And I don't know if you guys have heard this or not. And we'll start off with the bad so we can get off into the good, right? Because like, there's no point ending like the show on a negative note, so we may as well start on the negative note.
Yeah, you don't want a bitter taste. You might as well have the bad news first. No one wants to be left with a bitter taste.
So, I think last week we spoke a little bit about how like Activision Blizzard and Blizzard in general were like fucking up and dropping the ball. Have you guys heard what's come out like the last couple of days about Blizzard?
The court case that's going on at the moment?
Yeah.
Yes.
So for those that are unaware, Activision Blizzard and Blizzard in general are currently being sued by the state of California, who did a 2-year investigation. This isn't like a twit longer of like someone coming out saying, oh, this person did this to me. This is the state of California, like doing a 2-year thorough investigation on Activision Blizzard and the things that they did to their employees, specifically female employees, which I mean, there probably were probably that sounds really dismissive, but I mean, there most likely was male and female employees being like abused in such a way, but for the majority of it, it was the women, and it's absolutely disgusting. It even led, and again, this is a bit of a trigger warning for anyone that has dealt with this kind of stuff. So if you quite frankly, if this is the kind of stuff that you don't want to hear because you've gone through this, then I would probably suggest either skipping. I mean, we have no idea how long the discussion's going to be, right? So it might just be worth skipping this podcast, waiting to episode number 8. That just being real, you guys. So that's your warning, because it's going to get very graphic very quickly, and it's really not nice. So with that being said, unfortunately, there was a lot of sexual harassment and sexual abuse being given to female employees. One of which the harassment got to the point where they took their own life, and it's absolutely disgusting. And it really hurts to know that there are people out there that can be this disgusting in such an environment.
With such power.
Exactly. So some of the stuff that's come out, and obviously I'm not this won't cover like the full spectrum of it, but there was employees doing what they called cube crawls. So they would get absolutely drunk. Apparently some of them would get like high on like drugs and stuff as well, and they would go around harassing women in the different like cubes, like in the office, making like jokes of like I'm not going to say the word because I know the word is obviously triggering as well, but the R word, right? That's all you need to know. So like making jokes saying how they're going to R them and stuff like that.
It's just ridiculous. In the first place, ridiculous. Should be reported to the police. You can't.
Yeah.
I'm all for fun and games. Everybody knows me. I'm literally all about having a laugh, right? But there is certain lines that can't be crossed. That and it's just not even a joke. Not even a fucking joke.
No.
Carry on, sorry, mate.
That's right. There was women who, and this is the one that really struck home. Is like there was a woman who was harassed and abused to the point where like she I don't know if it was either before or after she took her life, but there was her naked images of her like being spread about like to like the colleagues at a holiday party, so like like a work Christmas party for example, and they're like showing like each other like images of this employee's like naked photos, and I think that's just wrong on so many levels. Like imagine like going to work knowing that like everyone's seen you naked essentially. That's not cool. And the worst thing is I believe from what I read, when this woman like took the decision to end her own life, she was it was on a business trip with one of the male employees who was harassing and like sexually abusing this woman. And when the authorities came and like investigated and stuff, they found that this I don't want to say man because it's disgusting, because what he did like to make someone get to that point is just really horrific. But they found on him like in the belongings that he had a butt plug and lube, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I mean, I know that's kind of it's kind of like this the smoking barrel, right? But like, it's it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. There's women that had like were you know denied a promotion because what if you get pregnant? Like that shouldn't even be a thing. Like if someone gets pregnant, they get pregnant. Like that's that's
That's
their
life.
choice. Yeah, it's their choice to have a child, right?
You,
There was
and it,
women kicked out of like lactation rooms because like the men wanted to have like a meeting in the room, which is just like so like abhorrent, if that's even the correct word to use. It's disgusting, like the fact that they would do such a thing. And there was people who were denied a promotion but get the male counterpart who was less qualified for the promotion got it. And when this person got like the promotion, he delegated all of his work down to like the female like subordinates at that point, and just sat around playing Call of Duty all day, like while the women the women did all the
did the
work.
work for
Yeah,
him. It's just. I mean, we had it was it a couple of years back or a year back with Ubisoft where we had a few things come out and it was really bad. Like those
mm,
high up in power are just really not adhering to any rules, and they just think it's their own playground rather than a business. And it's a shame to see it's not just Ubisoft. And I mean, I know Ubisoft worked on it, and they've fired some people, let some people go, um, but they haven't fully addressed it. Apparently, some of those people have still got paid off quite nicely, or some of them have still got quite good jobs, and this, that, and the other. But hopefully, they're going to change. But it seems like Blizzard have done fucking worse,
mate.
and I can't believe they've even managed to do that. Like,
What what really disgusts me as well is there was a woman who was 8 to 9 months pregnant, right? And now I'm not. I'll be real. I don't know much about the woman body, especially when it comes to being pregnant. But at 8 to 9 months, like I'd assume that the woman's going to be needing to use the ladies' room to relieve themselves of like to go to the toilet, right?
oh, of course, and all sorts of bits and bobs. You
Right.
kind of expect that.
But this woman got uh told off for using the bathroom too much, and to the point where I believe they got again I don't know, I didn't read, like this is one of the ones that I didn't read too much into, but they yeah, like she would need to use the bathroom because of being like heavily pregnant, and they were told that you're using the bathroom too much and that their productivity was low and stuff like that, when this woman was actually one of the like more harder working of like the team kind of thing from what I read. I know obviously like people paint themselves in a positive light, but the way like I believe 100% that this woman was like very very hardworking, and to be told that you're not working hard enough, you're using the toilet too much when you're heavily pregnant, like that's just wrong, man.
There's so many things that are coming out, and it's only just started this court case, so it's gonna, it's gonna blow up
Mm.
more. We're gonna find out more what's happening. But
But
2 years of investigation, there's something serious going on if taxpayers are paying for an investigation. Like they don't do these for no reason. It's not like a private company's gone, right, I've got a claim from someone, I'm going to investigate them. No, this is the state of California, isn't it? It's like, what?
the worst thing about it though is they Blizzard came out, or Activision Blizzard came out with like a statement. Basically, they didn't even like acknowledge the fact that this had happened. They're like saying that there was I can't let me find it. Give me a second.
Ferno's like, this is the first I'm hearing about all this. This is new news, though, mate. This is new. But yeah, some of these big companies, mate, it's the guys up top.
I'm just reading through. There's a big PDF file.
Yeah, they just don't
It's
seem to
giving
care.
you every case.
Yeah, there's I believe where is it? Let me see if I can find.
I've got this one. It's like
There was,
29 pages, and it's got each individual victim and what they're filing against them.
let me find it. I'm sure I'll find it on Twitter. But
It's not even like the big guys are even treating it like their own playground. Because if I had my own business and that, like my own huge company, I would probably be treating it like my playground. I'd be having fun with it, general fun. I'm not abusing people in any way. Like, I don't understand. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just been fat cat for so long and they think that no one matters but them, which is just, they need to be pegged down. Everyone should care about everyone, most people were brought up to think about others when you say something, right? This is just the way you should be, way I was brought up, to always
I
think about
just don't
something
know who
before
the
you
fuck
speak
they
it.
hired. What the fuck are they? Their company's fucked.
It's not even they're hiring, mate. They've been there for years, these guys, dude.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
not even,
problem, isn't it? It's like a little cult for them. That's the
yeah,
problem.
yeah, it is. And they're only hiring people that they reckon will be good enough to go into their fold of,
It's like
well,
basically, it's probably like a load of. It's like, oh no,
promoting people, sorry.
I'm not going to say nothing because it tarnish other people when it's not actually probably their fault. But
Well, no, you've got genuine people that work there as well. That's the problem. You can imagine what 98%, 99% of them are absolutely
well, if
brilliant
they got
people.
2 years on them, that means a load of people have come forward, but they just went. The
so
government literally went. We have to fucking watch them for 2 years to fucking concrete them down for fucking good.
his
Sorry,
sorry, carry on.
because you think if one person came forward, they'd probably just get a hefty fine. That'd be the end of it. You know what I mean? But with all the probably cases come forward, the amount of I've read, they're fucking gonna Activision gonna fucking probably file for fucking bankruptcy at this
So
fucking point.
here's the statement that Activision gave when this came out. Said they basically gave like the whole "we value diversity and strive to foster a workplace that includes that offers inclusivity for everyone." Bearing in mind, I'm reading this off of IGN, by the way. This is a statement that IGN have. So just as a heads up, I'm not like trying to whatever. So it says, I'm going to take a quote here. The DFEH included distorted and in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past. We have been extremely cooperative with the DFHE throughout their investigation, including providing them with extensive data and ample documentation, but they refused to inform us what issues they perceived. They were required by law to adequately investigate and to have good faith discussions with us to better understand and resolve any claims or concerns before going to litigation, but they failed to do so. Instead, they rushed to file an inaccurate complaint, as we will demonstrate in court. Like that just like, I tell you what, I was watching Asmongold as he covered this, and he gave a really good analogy, like comparison kind of thing. he says like if an employee comes into your workplace and shits on the floor, and then you like fire him because he's just shitting on the floor, and he turns around and goes, "Well, what do you mean? It wasn't in the employee contract to not shit on the floor." Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like it's kind of like that comparison in a way, if that makes sense, right?
I know why they're pissed. They knew about the investigation. They probably wanted to fucking do a back deal with them to keep it out of the public eye, and they
Yeah,
went, "Nah, fuck you. We're fucking getting you done."
more than likely, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's
Um,
why he's pissed when they said, "Oh, they should have came back to us and
but
actually told us what's going on." I went, "Nah."
what I will say is, uh, I'm there was their previous Activision and Blizzard CEO or whatever they call president or whatever stepped down. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and it just coincidentally, in quotes, um, coincides with the investigation starting. So this guy that was like the top dog of Blizzard coincidentally stepped down the moment that this investigation was going off. Like that just screams fucking guilty, right? To me. I don't feel that that's a coincidence at all. I feel like he stepped down and gave the new president or the new CEO, whatever you want to say, like basically all this bullshit to deal with. And from what I've heard, from what I've seen, it seems, and I can't take this as like gospel, but it seems like the current CEO, which is president, even J. Allen Brank, should I
Yeah,
think he's like again. I'm not gonna paint anyone with tarnish anyone with any brush here until we know the full details. Like I don't know if he was involved to that extent, but again, I mean I could be wrong, but at this point there's so much information being spread out. You don't know what's true, what's not true. I mean that's the ways of social media. However, all the allegations I believe 100% are true, and it disgusts me. It really does.
I believe they're true. I believe they're true. It's the gaming industry has a shady under practice going on for a while in the big wigs. Not saying all do. I've never heard of PlayStation or Xbox people having any problems like that because I think they're more clever than that. I don't think they'd fucking do anything like that. You know what I mean? I don't understand. But these big third party ones, lucky enough we haven't heard anything from EA yet, but I reckon there's some shady undergoings going on, even if it's just workplace harassment, you know? Um, I don't understand why it's happening. I don't understand. But I'm not in that.
the
I'm
thing
not in
is,
the
every
same kind
company
of
probably does experience something like this, but it goes down the right route where this has gone.
been
Yeah,
ignored. It's been thrown.
it's been ignored.
It's been allowed by the higher ups, even if it's just management or something like that. I'm not saying like the top wigs. I'm just saying management are allowing this to happen, which is ridiculous.
I think some of the
Makes
other
me angry, man.
yeah, some of the other stuff as well was there was a one of the guys that was like he was going up to people like trying to kiss them, saying, "Oh, I want to marry you" and stuff, and all this kind of shit, right? Which is kind of like wrong anyway. There was apparently another one. Again, I don't know if it's like listed in this documentation, but there was one guy that got really pissed off at one of the women and said like, "Oh, you won't give me head" or something like this, and I'm just like, excuse me, why are you fucking being a creep? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not being funny. If that's the kind of behavior that you like, if you saw that happening, you'd just be like, oh yeah, mate, what the fuck are you doing? What are you fucking playing
Yeah,
at? You know what I mean?
you should be suspended straight away.
I mean,
Soon
yeah,
if you get said something like that, even if you're just like, as soon as you say that, you're suspended, and next time it's written warning. Next time you're fired. Simple as that. Like even if you do anything worse than that as well, it's instant dismissal. It should be in the contract, you know.
I think it is, but
Uh,
like it just gets overlooked so much, and I think like with stuff like that, I mean, the severity of it is so extreme, and like it especially when it gets dismissed a lot, right? It makes women like it's the only equivalent I can give to it is like someone who's being bullied, right? Say like you're at school and and again, I did warn that this would be a trigger warning for a lot of people, but say you get bullied at school, right? 9 times out of 10, the person being bullied will not speak up about it because of fear of repercussions, right? So like now you put yourself in the shoes of like a woman that's being sexually harassed. Now if you bring that up to like one of the higher ups, right, and you say that this person's like sexually harassing you, right? Like the fear of repercussions not only from like the person but like the other people around you, right? Because
Lose your job as well. The fear of losing your job
you don't
as
know whether
well.
or not the management will take their side over yours. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
you don't know like what the person who's like the person's connected with, and whether that person will then turn around and start like spreading false allegations. You see what I mean? There's so much there, and it's also like, what is the person that is doing all of this going to do when this comes out? And like, if he gets told off, is he gonna like try and make your life even more worse? You know what I mean? Like the
Problem
fear.
with
It
that
shouldn't
is
be that
fear
way.
culture and dictatorship in the company.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it
Where
shouldn't
at the end of
shouldn't
the
be that
day, if
way.
the company's run properly,
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
But
it should be an open book company.
it
And
I think it's hard to like turn around and say like oh, because even in an open book, like you know even in a company that like does treat people with respect and does take things seriously and stuff like that, still something like that happening is so, I feel like it would be so hard for someone to speak up and speak out about it, because it is just the case of like that person has so much power over you in even though they don't, but they do in a weird like horrible like psychological way, because you do, like everyone does, everyone like assumes the worst in situations, especially in really horrible situations. Like if you've been harassed and stuff and you feel like you want to speak out about it, the first thing that goes through your head is, well, what if this happens to me? What if like this person then treats me
Human
worse?
survival instinct, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You've got to think of the worst to be ready for it, kind of thing. It's just so you automatically do it. You can't help it.
Yeah.
Um, then you have to plan around it.
I think there was some other really nefarious stuff where there was someone that wanted to take some time off. I can't remember what it was for, but they wanted to take like a day off, and they were told that they had to write like a page like essay as to what they would do with their time, which makes no fucking sense. Like, I have never worked for a company that has said, "Oh yeah, by the way, we want to know exactly like what you plan to do with this, like with the time off." Like that, it shouldn't, But it was like
That's
the
dodgy. That's dodgy. I wouldn't, if any company said that to me, I'd be like, bah, as I walk
I,
out the door. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think the worst thing about this was this happened to not only a female employee, but the female employee was a black lady as well. So not only do you have the fact that they were being like sexist towards her in a way, they also in a way is racism, right? Like because they weren't.
If they're singling out, yes,
Yeah,
you know.
because apparently they weren't doing it for like anyone else, especially like the male members of staff, but like for like the female members of staff, especially this lady, they were like, well, we want you to write a page as to like what you want to do like with this time, and I'm just like, what? Why?
It's weird, isn't it? Because you like it was a year ago, a big fucking survey was done and stuff, and then it was realised that women do a lot in the gaming industry, like in creative side of things as well, in teams, and they work really hard. So that's why they're there. They're not. It's not a token person. They're there because they're fucking good at their job, and then you're abusing them. Like what? What are you doing? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it really pisses me off because like I was I was always brought up with the mantra of treat people the same way you want to be treated, right? So I will treat someone regardless of like their race, their sex, all that kind of jazz. Like I will still treat them the same way that I want to be treated, and the way I want to be treated is I want to be treated with respect, right? Like
You,
so I give people the same respect that I would give to myself, right? I mean, granted, I fucking hate myself, but that doesn't mean that I hate other people, right? But no, it really pisses me off. It really does. Like, and I really hope that the people that have done these nefarious things get the justice, like get justice served to them, and I
yeah,
hope.
properly.
And I hope that the people that have been the victims in all of this get the justice that they deserve. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
you know,
Some proper justice. I mean, the thing is, we can't say at the moment what justice is until this all comes out fully. We're just gonna have to wait a couple of weeks, months,
I'd be
and we'll
more than
know.
months. I
Yeah,
this I feel like this will continue on for at least a year, maybe more, because of the severity of it, the amount of cases involved as well. The amount I I feel like probably this time next year, if not later, is when we'll find out everything about it. But like, holy fucking
but
shit, man!
You got to
Blizzard.
remember, they've
Go on.
only got information off the company. If they're actually picking people out, they'll be going through all their computers,
oh, yeah,
phones.
Mm-hmm.
of course. I mean, um, like you say, Blizzard has not been having fun recently, have they? And this is not going to help.
No, certainly not. It is Blizzard's downfall at this point. Like, and it's a shame to see because many a year ago, Blizzard were like seen as this like godlike company. Like they were seen to do no wrong. They were there for the gamers. Like, not to take Sony's fucking like um slogan, um, but they were seen as they can't do nothing wrong. They made quality games. It was always quality first, and like they would never like skimp on anything. It was always like everything had to be perfect with them. And now it's gotten to the point where like things have become so sloppy. They don't give a shit and stuff like that. And I think with this lawsuit coming out, it kind of makes sense as to why, right? You know what I mean? Like if people were like getting fucking drunk on the job and going around on cube crawls and stuff like this, and you've got like women being harassed and stuff, like the morale in that place must have been so fucking low, especially like for like the people being victimized of all this stuff. Like it's just horrific.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrific, man. Like, I can't believe more's happening. I thought Ubisoft was the worst of it, man. And yeah, I thought most of that was dealt with. But obviously, this has been going on for a while as well. So hopefully, other companies, anyone that's doing anything alike, hopefully, other companies take heed and just fucking stop this shit. Just stamp it out, man. No company that I've ever worked for had ever allowed anything close to that, you know? Like, oh, you just get fired, man. So why? Why? Why do these people think they're fucking so godly? It needs to be taken down a peg, man.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It'd be interesting to I say interesting is like the worst word I could have used, but obviously I'm gonna follow this pretty greatly. But the when I say interesting, what I was about to say, it'd be interesting to see like how Blizzard like react to it in terms of like, will they like fuck their ideas up, or will they just continue being like absolute pieces of shit, or will it just completely wreck the company to the point where like, and I can see this happening, which I mean, I could be wrong, I could be not, but I can see Activision very quickly like trying to cut
But
ties with
yeah, that's what
Blizzard.
I was thinking. I was wondering if that's going to happen, but it's too many million they've forced into this, and obviously, World of Warcraft still makes a lot of money a month, so I think they'll be okay. They're just going to have to restructure and take the hit. But they shouldn't have done it, you know, and it's going to hurt them in the long run as well, because people, I mean, I'm not rushing to buy any Activision or Blizzard game. Like, I'm really not.
No.
When that came out about Ubisoft, Division I've already been playing for years, but I'm not greatly. I won't rush out and buy a Ubisoft game straight away. And the problem is, there's a lot of people that do really work hard, and they're fine and genuine people that work for those companies. So that's who I feel bad for, and I'm sure they'll
Yeah.
be fine. But
I think
know,
it goes without saying, like, like, I know there's people, like, I know a lot of you guys that are listening, and I know pretty like switched on and smart, and I know you guys won't do it, but for the sake of, like, not only the victims, but like the people who have had no involvement in it at all, don't go out and be vigilantes, and don't go and harass people on Twitter saying, oh, you need to, like, quit your job, you need to, like, stop playing, like, and this goes for the content creators that stream, like, World of Warcraft and stuff like that, and Overwatch, for example, as well. Like, don't go out and harass them and say that they need to switch games, because, like, like that's like, they have no involvement in this for the most part. Like, and even for the people that are involved and are the pieces of shit, like, don't go out of your way to, like, do anything like that, because, like, then that
our job.
it's not our job. Let the authorities, like, take care of it, and let justice be dealt by the people who are there to give justice, right? And to deal justice. Don't be like, we're not fucking Batman, right?
There's millions and millions of pounds being spent on this. Your text message isn't gonna help. So
You got
let's
you
leave
got
it to it.
just think like this. There's no point slandering a company because 5 people who have fucking done horrific crimes, where you got 95% of people that's actually doing a job.
Yeah, exactly.
And they got families, and they got bills to pay just like everyone else. So
that reminds me, talking about the IGN thing, I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, they brought up the person yeah, so about the lady who took her own life. This is a quote from the statement that Activision made. Said, "We are sickened by the reprehensible conduct of the DFHE, drag into the complaint the tragic suicide of an employee whose passing has no bearing whatsoever on this case, and with no regard for her grieving family. While we find this behavior to be disgraceful and unprofessional, it is unfortunately an example of how they have conducted themselves throughout the course of the investigation."
wow.
And it says,
I mean, I know they've got big lawyers and stuff, but that's some words to put down,
yeah.
isn't it?
And it says, in the next sentence is, it is this type of irresponsible behavior from unaccountable state bureaucrats that are driving many of the state's best businesses out of California.
Wow. So just basically threatening the government with less tax.
That's
what I'm seeing there.
I mean, that's just fucked. That's just absolutely fucked.
That's like a horrible statement, but that's also like a backhanded threat to say, like, no one's paying you, you're going to lose all tax here if you keep busting in on our businesses. But
what I find disgusting, right, and what I find thingy is they talk about, like, we're sickened that their conduct of dragging into the complaint the tragic suicide of the employee, right? And they're saying, like, oh, they have no regard for her, like, fat grieving family. I wonder, I genuinely wonder what their grieving family want. Do they want, like, the loss of, like, not only, like, that's someone's daughter, right? That could be someone's mother and stuff like that, someone's wife, right? Do they really want, like, her, like, suicide because of this, like, swept under the rug, or do they want justice? I think it's the latter, right?
I would expect so, man. I would expect so. I mean,
Like,
this happened under their watch, so it needs to be investigated. Simple as that.
like, I'm not being funny, but if one of, like, my close relatives, like someone in my family, committed suicide because of, like, the actions of individuals at a company, then I would want I know for a fact I would want justice. I would want like the individuals like punished, and I want the company punished. Like I would
Yep,
like,
of course. Same. I think
uh,
you think you're right.
and I think it's I don't know the way they came out about it just really horrifies me because it's not a case of like, oh, it's not a case of like saying, oh yeah, now we see what I mean. They're basically denying everything is what this comes out as. Like they're saying
They come out
now,
as a very strong stance. Normally, a company would say, we'll work with them to do whatever they need. We'll get to this bottom of this, and we'll
yeah,
help. Like even Ubisoft did that. They were like, we'll get to the bottom of this and we'll help, even though they knew some of it was going on. They still had the face to say that, which is normal. But Blizzard are coming out and saying, nah, boys, nothing happened over here. Leave us. Oh yeah, leave us. We might leave California if not. You know what I mean? You won't get any taxes. It's like, what the fuck kind of a statement is that? They
yeah,
should be taken down, man. They need to learn.
yeah.
Um,
Come
they
on.
put most of their taxes offshore anyway. A lot of these big companies. I don't know. We'll probably talk about that next time. But the amount of money they put offshore, they don't really pay tax. A lot of these big companies, these game companies, and it's just horrific. So
Yeah,
they're just taking tax. They're getting like tax benefits as well to their company, and then they're not even paying it back. Like what?
mm,
But yeah, that's a story for another time.
yeah. Uh, Now, it is really hard to segue off of a topic like this, right? Especially like if we're going into some more lighthearted stuff. So just as a final thought, I genuinely hope that the victims of all of this get the justice that they so like are craving for. I hope that the people who are the perpetrators of all of this get punished to the correct stance of the law, and quite frankly, like fuck Blizzard, basically. Like how fucking dare they? Like how dare they treat people like trash?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's pretty round up pretty well, mate.
yeah. So let's segue onto something a little bit more lighthearted. In a very awkward way because like it's very hard to segue off of something like that. Flat, I noticed that you are playing Yakuza.
Oh, Yakuza Like a Dragon, mate. I'll be honest, I've never ever played a Yakuza game. Never ever played one, right? I've heard they're wacky, but quite funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Yakuza Like a Dragon came on Game Pass a little while back, and I was like, oh, I've done with Darkest Dungeon for now. I think I've rinsed that
Oh,
enough.
yay!
I think I put like 8, 9 days into that, man. It's good, but yeah, Yakuza Like a Dragon is not like the normal Yakuza games. It is a turn-based combat game. So I thought, oh, I'm quite into my RPGs. I'll give it a go. And man, am I enjoying it. It is the story. There's a lot of story in it though. You've got to be prepared to be able to put down the controller and watch it for a little bit at points. But there is some really good parts in it, and the story's wacky. The everything about it is wacky, but also really funny. I wouldn't like to ruin anything for anyone who's playing it, but it just keeps getting wackier and wackier. To be fair, it's brilliant. The turn-based combat's good. Um, I'm noticing a slight couple of things that aren't amazing, like they aren't quite perfect, but it's their first time of trying this, and I would think the next game would pretty much be bang on the money. Combat's really good, story's really good so far. Wackiness is amazing. I like the way the character himself had played video games when he was younger, the guy you're playing. So he played a lot of Dragon Quest, and he keeps referencing how like, real life could be like an RPG, and he realizes he could level up, and it's just hilarious. It's hilarious, man. He's like, yeah, I can treat real life like an RPG. I'm gonna be the hero. I'm gonna level up. It's just, yeah, it's hilarious. Summoning in like at the moment I've just got managed to get this crawfish named Nancy, and I can summon her in and battle on the old phone, and I get these crawfish to come in and start like fucking chomping away at the enemies. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, man.
So
Like,
you definitely recommend playing this one then, yeah?
oh, for sure. I mean, if you've got Game Pass, definitely. I mean, to be fair, it's it's probably worth the buy. I mean, I've already put quite a few hours into it, and I'm not very far into it at all. The amount of side quests and side activities, it's.
Yep.
I've heard Yakuza had a lot of side activities and stuff, but like even the pachinko machines, I downloaded like an 8 gig add-on so I could do the pachinko machines. Man, they're just like in depth. I mean, that's a free add-on. It just it's separate from the game in case it's quite a big download and in case you weren't going to use the slot machines, but. This stuff like Mario Kart. I was doing a bit that was like Mario Kart, man. You got a whole Grand Prix and stuff. It's all sorts. It's wacky, man. I can go on forever.
Oh mate, it's funny that you bring up slot machines actually, because you know how we talked last week about the streamers, the gambling streamers, right?
Yes.
Well, H3H3, I believe he's recently came back to Twitch, so he's doing like a lot more like streams and stuff on Twitch now. He ended up getting one of the bigger like streamers of like the gambling, like doing all this gambling, onto his podcast or onto his like Twitch stream, right? And they were having like a massive like debate, and they were getting like really pissed off. Oh yeah, because all this kind of stuff, right? And it turns out that the company that this guy was doing it for, right, is based in a really obscure part of the world, like Calco or something, right? Which is bizarre anyway. But like when they googled like the offices for like this company, it was just a fucking shed.
Yeah, it's tax purposes, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like the company was basically this shed, right? And he's like saying, "Oh, you trust like your money with like here and all this kind of stuff." I was like, "The company's a fucking shed and all this." And the guy's like, "Oh no 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 no," and then it's like, and then something that came to light about it is a lot of these plot streams that you'll see like on Twitch, they use cryptocurrency for like the way they like take the bets, right? So you give them like you pay with cryptocurrency. You either get like another type of currency on that website. You know, like you go to like a casino, you get like your chips, right? So it's
Yeah.
kind of like that, or you just straight up like deposit like cryptocurrency balance into like your account on these websites and you use that to think. But like these websites aren't regulated by like 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 officials, right? So if they wanted to, they could change things like on the back end to make you either win more or lose more, and like that's absolutely like they wouldn't get in the shit for it because they're unregulated, right?
Yep, so dodgy, so dodgy.
Whereas like you go to like an actual casino, I mean, I'm not again, I'm not too like well versed in the legalities of things, but like they go in there and they have to like inspect everything. They inspect the numbers. They inspect like how much money's going in, how much money's going out, because of
Very
like
regulated.
yeah, it's regulated like very thoroughly and very in depth, so that they know exactly like the odds of all this kind of stuff. But it's more so that they're regulated to stop money laundering from happening, because casinos are obviously like very, I say obviously, but like it's people use casinos to money launder, right? I mean, it's not really, you know, when you get an
Because it's such a it can be such a difference from one day to the other and stuff. It makes it easy to money launder, but yeah, the regulation makes it hard.
yeah, exactly. But when you get like not only an unregulated like website that's offering gambling, right? But you have an unregulated website that uses cryptocurrency as its way of like depositing to and from. Like we all know, like full well, like how hard it is to trace a Bitcoin back to like the original like source, right? It's very hard, especially if people have like done it the right way. Like it's because I mean that is just the way of the internet. There's like a lot of like the shadier deals get dealt with like cryptocurrency because it's so much harder to trace than say using like a PayPal account or using
Of
like
course,
an actual bank account, right?
it becomes really, really hard. Some of it is very anonymous, depending on how they do it, like you say.
Yeah. So like you have an unregulated website and a using cryptocurrency as their form of payment in a country that pretty much no one would have ever heard of. Like, that's all the ingredients for a fucking scam, right?
Yep.
You know
It
what I mean?
literally is. Yep. It
And the,
literally is.
and the interesting thing about it is there's one of the websites that is a lot of the United States ban like a lot of gambling, especially like online gambling. As far as I'm aware, I don't know the full like ins and outs of it, but I know that the two websites, the two big ones that are getting streamed a lot, basically have it in their terms of service that you cannot like play from the United States, right?
Oh.
But there's people like that will make like, because you know, if you use a VPN, that you can say that you're from Canada or if you're from the United Kingdom, right?
Yep.
But they have a way where they can like say if you, because gambling is gambling. If you gamble, you're going to lose, right? But on that hypothetical that you have like a lot of money on your account on these websites, and you say, okay, I want to withdraw that now, they can straight up turn around and say, well, we want identification now to prove that you're not in one of these sites where it's like forbidden, one of these countries where it's forbidden, right? And they can and will like basically say, nah, you can't have it, you can't have your funds. So like, let's say you put like $1,000 in there, just hypothetically, you put $1,000 in there, you start losing, you're like, okay, well, I want to get that grand back, or like, you know, let's say you lost like 200-300 like pounds or dollars, whatever, and you're like, okay, well, I want to get my $700 out. They can turn around and be like, nah, fuck you, and then snap your fucking accounts deleted, like, and they have the right to do that, and that is
Of course.
scary.
Yep. Of course. I mean, it probably won't happen most of the time, but at any point, that website, the owners could go, right, I'm shutting it down, taking all the money. Thanks very much, chaps. Ta-da.
Yeah.
And the servers, it's gone, and there's no one to account to that because it's not regulated and it's not policed. So yeah, be prepared for that. At any moment, they could just shut it down, take the money, and go.
One final thing on this is you have these websites will pay like these streamers, especially the bigger ones, like millions a month, right? One of them I think is getting about 2 million a month, I think, right?
What?
Yeah, right. So here's where things get fucking wild. So they're paying the streamer like 2 million a month, right? To basically as a sponsor, as an ad, right? To gamble on their site, on their stream and stuff, right?
Yeah.
They then gamble. They have like their code up saying like, oh yeah, you use this code and blah 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 and whatever, right? And so not only is the quote unquote casino making money from the people that will inevitably like sign up and start putting money into the casino, right? So they're gonna make money off of those people, right? They're also essentially getting that money from the sponsorship back because the big streamer, right, is going to start betting like big amounts, right? These streamers, I mean, we're talking they're betting like over $500 like a spin, right? Some of them even $1,000 a spin, right?
That's crazy.
Which we obviously talked about like last podcast, right? But this guy, I mean, I'm not gonna call him out. Like, I'll call him out because he's a big streamer, right? But I'm not saying it in a sense of like, you know, like, oh, go and do this or whatever. Like, I don't support that kind of shit at all. In fact, no, I'm just gonna not. I mean, those that are in the know, they probably already know who I'm talking about here. But he basically he will stream for like a long period of time. Like we're talking like 12 hours plus, sometimes even 25, 26 hours, right? Just constantly gambling, right? And he's been on such a losing streak where like that 2 million, he's down by like millions now. So like that 2 million that they give him, like say, oh yeah, there's the 2 million that we pay you a month for this sponsorship. He's probably lost all of that and more within the space of a couple of days. So that's how they make their money. So like, sure, they can give him 2 million. They're like, oh yeah, you know, gamble on our site, right? But they're effectively giving the streamers effectively giving that money back to the casino, if not more. So the casino's making money like offer the streamers like own personal funds. Plus, they're making money off of the people that are inevitably signing up through like their affiliate code, right? So the casino is always winning, regardless. I mean, there is, there is a reason why they say the house always wins. The house will always win.
Well, it's normally, they normally take 80% roughly. You look at it as an 80%. So, like, in the long run, they're going to take 80%, no matter what happens. Like, someone may win big, but they're winning, a lot of people are losing small. So they're taking 80%,
But it's
like,
just crazy how like these streamers get paid a vast amount of money, and effectively that vast amount of money is just the money that they're giving them to spend on fucking rolling the fucking slots and losing
oh
it
man,
and giving it back.
2 million, 2 million. Wow. Like,
Yeah,
wow.
a
That is
lot of
some
money.
money.
That's a
That
lot
is
of
some
money.
money. I
Who
mean,
thought the world was full of cotton candy?
yeah.
But like, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, I'm not telling people like how to spend their money, right? By any means. Like, if someone genuinely wants to gamble like their fucking life savings away, that's up to them. But like, don't fucking do it. Like,
Careful. Just be careful. Don't
Give
don't bet
yourself
on
a limit.
anything.
That's all you
Yeah.
need to do.
I love
Don't
how
bet on anything that you don't want to lose. Like, you'd never bet anything you want to lose, and never chase your money. So if you're looking at, like, you're going to a casino
Yeah,
tonight, for
don't get
example.
tilted.
Yeah, you're going to the casino. You go like, right, I've got 500 quid for tonight. I'm going to spend 200 quid in the casino. Right. Don't go over that 200 quid, and don't start chasing your losses, and be prepared to lose that 200 quid. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Always be
exactly.
prepared to lose it, and just have a laugh with it.
I just realized the irony of what I said earlier. Or the hypocrisy or whatever. I said I'm not going to tell people how to spend their money, but don't do this.
Don't spend your money.
Yeah, but no, I think everyone understands that gambling is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like, I used to do slot machines a bit when I worked at a pub kitchen for a few years. I knew my one slot machine very well, and I knew how much money was going in because I could hear it in the kitchen.
You
So I
coin
was really
watcher.
quite sad. Yeah. Well, I was pretty bad for that, mate. I could hear, like, I knew X amount coming out, and people would be like, they look at me, I'm like, that's 70 quid.
£5.40 that went through that machine. It's got
Yeah,
£10.80 left.
I'd have a rough idea, mate. So, but even at those stage, I'd only ever put like 20 quid in. I'd put 20 quid in, take 40 out. I won jackpot a few times, bits and bobs and that, but I never went mad of it. Must say, one night I did do that stupid thing. I was just chasing that jackpot. I knew it was coming up soon. It took me up to 180 quid to get a 250 jackpot. But I'd already spent about 40 quid on beer. So I really gained not much at all. And I almost lost that much money because it was getting near closing time. So,
Yeah, so you basically
like,
just pushed the machine out. That's all you done.
yeah, I just spent my whole night on that machine, mate, because I knew it was going to come, but it wasn't coming for ages. The machine occasionally will just decide it's going to take extra. You can't win, basically, and the feeling of chasing is not nice. Take it from me. I learned very hard lesson that day, and I've never ever done it since. Like, the most I ever put in from there was 20 quid, and nowadays it's probably been about 6 years since I've probably gone on a fruit machine. And I've kind of learned from that. So take it from me. Don't chase your money, guys. Have a laugh with it, but don't chase your money.
Exactly. It's not worth it. Not worth it.
But going back to those pachinko machines on Yakuza,
Yeah.
they're nuts. They're absolutely nuts. So, like, the slot machine in the UK and stuff, right? You click the buttons. You've got maybe a mini game. You've got games at the top and stuff. These things are actually like, I don't know if all pachinko machines are like this, but they're actually like video screens and stories
That's
playing
Japanese
out.
pachinkos, aren't they?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Well, you're spinning, different stuff's happening. So your character's like about to go in this battle, and if obviously you get the right spin, you'll start doing a decent combo and shit. Like, what? It's really cool to watch, though.
Yeah, there's yeah, if you ever have a look at some of the actual pachinko machines like in real life, like some of them are really fucking cool, but there's a Metal Gear Solid one actually, in fact, and people got really pissed off with it because people were thinking that it was going to be like an actual game, and it ended up being like a pachinko machine, and it was like because like they did it in like I think it was Konami, right? I think they did this like stream or something, and they announced it like on the stream, and I remember I think it must have been about 3 time, and I remember like because my brother's really into like Metal Gear Solid, he loves it, and he was really excited. He's like, "Oh my god, yes, yes!" And then when they showed it being a pachinko, he's like, "It's a fucking pachinko machine!" Because they are.
Oh,
I
they
think,
do well with those, don't they?
yeah,
They make a lot of money out of them.
they are. I'll read the description from Wikipedia. Pachinko is a type of mechanical game originating from Japan and is used as both a form of recreational arcade game and much more frequently as a gambling, filling a Japanese gambling niche comparable to that of the slot machine in Western gambling. So yeah, but here's the thing, right? Here's the kicker. Um, in Japan, it's actually illegal to gamble for cash. So what you'll probably find is there's like this legal loophole, and I'll read the description on here. It says gambling for cash is illegal in Japan, but the widespread popularity of low stakes pachinko gambling in Japanese society has enabled a specific legal loophole allowing it to exist. Under the law, pachinko balls won from games cannot be exchanged directly for money in the parlor, nor can they be removed from the premises or exchanged with other parlors. However, they can be legally traded to the parlor for so-called special prize tokens, which are Togushu Gijin. That's the tokens, and which are then legally sold for cash to a separate vendor located off premises.
Weird.
Yeah,
Weird way around it all.
it
Like a
says
Bitcoin, basically.
kind
It
of.
sounds like EA. It sounds like something EA would do.
It says these vendors, and there's brackets.
Pay to win.
Says these vendors then ostensibly independent from, but not often owned by, the parlor owner, then sell the tokens back to the parlor at the same price paid for them, plus a small commission, thus turning a cash profit without technically violating the law. So you basically get a ball that you exchange for a prize token, and you take that prize token to somewhere off site to then get money for that token, and then the people that buy these tokens sell it back to the place that's offered the tokens in the first place and take a commission for that sale.
It's so
So
pointless.
yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's a fucking
Pointless.
ridiculous loophole, but it's legal, and it allows, like, that's the way that people gamble in Japan, by this, in that for a sense.
It just sounds ridiculous. Like, what a weird way. I mean, it makes sense for the people doing it, but why? How did the law not see that happening before they made it? You know, like, oh, no one's gonna get around this one, lads. This is like watertight. Oh crap! Someone in the shed selling them. We can't do anything. He's off premises. We didn't think about this, lads.
You know what's funny? If that happened in England, it would just get tramped down, wouldn't it? It'd be like, yeah, we know what you're doing.
Not really. I think even
Not legally.
if we had the same like laws like that the Japanese have, I believe something like this would actually exist over here.
I
Like,
believe it would as well.
Why
I
not be
believe,
classed as
yeah.
just like money laundering?
I mean,
Transporting it
no,
back and
because
forth.
it's set up like that. It's legit. It's legit.
yeah, it
But
is
it
a
makes no
legit thing
sense why they've done that. Like, why the
because
laws like that.
it's no different to like you going to an arcade, right? You go to an arcade and you get like you go on like the claw like type games, like the grabbers or whatever you want to call them, right? And you put your money in and you're expecting like to, on the off chance, like get this prize if you play it correctly, right? And it's the same thing with these like pachinko machines, in the fact that you will like win a ball, right? And you're not actually winning money. You're not actually getting you're not getting like capital. So what you do is, again, just like basically paraphrasing what this article is you get this fucking like ball that you then go to like the parlor that you're at, like the or the arcade, we'll call it, or the casino or however you want to call it, you would take this ball and be like, oh yeah, I got these balls. Kind of like poker chips, right? It's kind of like chips.
Yeah.
Kind of like casinos have chips, right? You're not actually using money. You give them money for these chips. You play with the chips. Then you go back to the thing and you cash those chips in for, cash, right? It's somewhat similar. It's somewhat similar in the fact that you have to go through this like loophole of going, okay, well, I won these chips or these balls or whatever, right? I then cashed them in for like a different type of like chip that I can then take to someone else that's not within the premises to then get the money that I would have won.
Yeah, it's a bit like you're saying, like there's a few analogies for it. It's a bit like, in the arcades when you get the tickets out and you've got to go hand the tickets in. Imagine having to take the tickets to somewhere else rather than, or as you could say, it's a bit like FIFA coins,
I think
in that sense.
I think you hit the nail on the head with the tickets thing. Like, imagine you go to an arcade, right? And instead of getting tickets, you're getting like something else out of the machine. Like maybe a little capsule or something, right?
Yep.
And then you then take that capsule to like a prize desk and they're like, okay, well, instead of like carrying around like a big lump of fucking capsules, like we're going to give you like a little token, like a little like poker chip that has like, maybe it's like a gold one or a bronze one or a silver one or however, right? And we'll give you like X amount of these for X amount of like balls that you give us, right? And you then take these and you go, oh yeah, cool, I got this. But if you take it to someone off site, they'll give you money for it.
I'll
And
give
it
extra money,
is,
yeah.
yeah,
And they'll
and
sell it back to the casino, the arcade.
at that point you're making a transaction or a trade rather than like, oh, I'm gambling for cash. You know what I mean? You at that point you're no longer gambling for like an item or like a ball. You're essentially like,
I reckon EA
yeah.
looked at this and we were like, yeah, we want to implement this in FIFA.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how we're going to get him. It's not gambling, it's surprise mechanics. Surprise, we've taken your money.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
No, I can't believe when EA went up in court in the UK and that they said, like, the lawyers were like, it's not loot boxes, it's surprise mechanics. And it's like, what? What?
Did you see that Pez is going to overtake FIFA on the next game?
Mate, no, I'm not buying FIFA. Like, have you
No,
seen?
no. Pez is going to be free for
Good.
everyone, and it's cross-platform between everyone.
The problem is with FIFA, right, is on the new gen consoles. I don't know if you've guys seen, I've got a Series X, right? If I want to buy it on the Series X, I can pay £54 and get the Xbox One edition, which is last gen. Or if I want to get the new gen edition for my actual console, it's £74. You what?
Ooh.
You what? Like, oh my god! And then they're going to try and make money on FIFA points. Oh my days! You have just gone above and beyond.
That's
You know, it is
That's why Pez
brutal.
is going to overtake. They've actually cross-platformed it.
Good.
Next game. I saw
Good.
it. I saw it the other day, and I was just like, "Wow." That's the thing. FIFA won't cross-platform anything because they know they make more money keeping it separate.
Can't believe,
yeah.
like, for example, if I've got FIFA, both versions of the newest FIFA installed on my console, because if I want to play Inferno, for example, I've got to play the last gen version. If I want to play someone that's on new gen, I've got to play the new gen version. Like, what? What?
That's
What?
that makes no sense.
It is baffling, mate. It is absolutely baffling. And if I want to play someone on PC, well, I just can't. And you can't even do it on the new gen, if
You
in the new
can.
version, can you?
You can. You just download the PC version, Windows version on Game Pass, and then that
I'm
allows
just
you to
saying,
play.
if you've only got a console, though, mate. I mean, I could, yeah, but if you only had a console, say for example, Billy's got an Xbox and then fucking Fred's got a PC. Well, you ain't playing together, lads, because EA's
No.
just not allowing it, and I don't know why. It's FIFA. It's not like it's a first-person shooter with someone's got Twitch controls and someone's got a controller. It makes no sense. I don't get it. It makes me literally. I'm smiling here because it just makes me laugh.
Where's Sony in it? Sony not allowing crossplay. They're wanting a fee.
Oh, mate, it's
I
just,
know. Yeah, but that's
makes no
not
sense.
FIFA's not. That's not Sony though. That's EA.
I mean, they would take, EA would probably pay it. 'Cause
But
they
to be
make enough.
fair, EA are cross-platforming Battlefield, though, aren't they?
I think that's more DICE pushing that, mate. I remember when DICE were before DICE was bought by EA.
Yeah.
Sure of it. You know, I remember.
I like how they said they didn't want to go full crossplay. They had to limit it. There's 2 new gens, 2 old gens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand that because the limitations of the old gen consoles, I don't think they're going to handle 128 players on the battlefield. I just don't think they are.
I know PUBG
You know.
used to handle cross-platform between new gens.
Did it? I mean, I played PUBG when it first came out.
Remember the
Questionable.
Xbox One
It was
S,
horrific.
One S? If you had the newer
Questionable.
version,
It was horrific.
It
Yeah,
was.
it used to render it in quicker if you had the newer Xbox.
That's true, but it was still played like it just come out of the back end of a donkey.
It's always been a fucking back effort donkey. What do you expect? It's PUBG.
I mean, like, you're running around the corner and it's like, where did I just lost like 30 frames.
That's why I used to like playing first person on that game. I hate being third peaked.
It didn't feel quite right in first person, man. I don't know why the controls felt floaty. I like Twitch shooters, you know, back in the day.
It got nicked from fucking Armor 3. That's why, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was an armor mod at some point. I think.
Yeah.
It was modded off of
DayZ, didn't it? Didn't it go from Armor mod and DayZ, and then that's when they made PUBG.
Yeah.
It's just shooting, unless you're in third person, it just feels a bit odd. It might be better on mouse and keyboard, to be fair. I've never really tried
it. Oh, no,
it,
PC PUBG's a lot better than console.
Cool, because I tried it on console a few times, man, and it just felt horrific. I'm used to, like I say, back in the day, I used to play a lot of Unreal Tournament and things like that, so I like twitchy shooters. I like to be quick and precise. I don't want to be floating around. Like, I feel like I'm swimming, you know, underwater or something while I'm aiming. It feels horrible. Yeah, I can't deal with that. Puts me off a game straight away. Actually, some points it can give me a slight headache if I lose like the I don't know, if I lose like the camera jerk of it and it's not going where I want it to with the controller.
Got to be running at a fine 120 frames per second. If it drops to 118, I'm screwed.
118. Okay, instant headache. Nah, man, I'm not that elitist, but you know what I'm saying. Certain games, there's a couple.
I used to play like Dead Island back in the day. Used to love it when that first came out.
You know, I never played that, man. I played Dying Light, obviously, a lot. Completed that a lot, but what did you think of the first Dead Island? Because the second one's in limbo. It's really in limbo.
Not the second one. Second one went a bit too haywire.
Oh no, the third one. So I'm on about the third one, aren't I? The second one was Riptide, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, the third one's in limbo. It's been made for years, but they've gone through.
I don't think they will.
3 developers.
I don't think it, because you got freaking the parkour one. You know what I mean?
You know that was made by the same company that made Dead Island 1. See, they pitched to the publishers and said, look, this is what we want to make. It's got parkour. This is what we want to make, blah, blah, blah. And the publishers went, nah, you're making Dead Island 2. And they went, oh. And they ran off and made their own company. And that's why they made Dying Light. And since then, Dead Island's been having issues because they've been going through developers like mad on the new one.
I used to like just going up and just like drop kicking zombies.
That's on Dying Light, you mean?
No, on Dead Island.
It's on Dead Island as well. You could drop kick.
Yeah, you could kick it. It's all just jump and kick him in the face. And I remember playing it quite hardcore. Got the special weapons that had this freaking knuckle duster. When you punch them, the head just went. It fucking blew up.
Dying Light 2 looks really good though. Can't wait for it.
By the way, you mentioned Dead Island 2. That still has not come out yet.
The Dead Island 3. Yeah, Dead Island 2. Oh, well, there's Riptide, isn't there? There's one in between, isn't there?
Riptide was like, I don't think it was a 2. It was like a ongoing one, wasn't it? Type thing from one, wasn't it?
Right. So we'll call the new one Dead Island 2 then. We'll just make it simple because then
to be fair,
talking about. Yeah, that's
when you boys saw Dead Island, like the first one's trailer. Do you ever watch the first trailer of it? That was fucking the best fucking trailer.
Mate, you walking down the beach, yeah?
Yeah.
He running.
Even the hotel room one. Fuck me, that was fucking like back in the day. It's like you saw them graphics, like it's a film or a fucking game. You know what I mean?
that little girl launched out the window. She turns into a zombie, doesn't she, and all that. But yeah, I remember that, mate. But it was clearly CG, wasn't it? You know, back in the day, I thought that ain't real, and nowadays when I see trailers, I'm really really quick to go like, that ain't real. It's a CG, but
I knew it was CG, but it was fucking good for its like time.
yeah, it was impressive. It looked good. It had a good. I like the idea of
By the
actual
way,
people changing in time properly rather than just turning into a zombie instantly and stuff.
by the way, you know when the trailer for Dead Island 2 came out?
It was 7 years.
7 years ago. Yep.
Oh yes, look at
Yep.
that, man! I'm on it,
The trailer came out in 2014.
mate. It's gone through 4 developers. I think it's
Oh,
not looking
so
good.
many, so
There
many.
is there is
If
gameplay. There is a tiny bit of gameplay on the internet of it. They did like the little showing, and it looked pretty non-inspiring, should I say? And the voice lines of the actors, they were just going through like 3 dialogues of voice every time they shot someone, and it got very, very old. Even watching the video, man, like even 5 minutes, I'm like, stop saying the same thing. I understand it was in development, man, but it looked lacking. If you were to
yeah,
watch it now,
Yeah,
you'd be like,
it
oh
was
my
just
god.
a fuck it. They just reskinned it and just gave a different area. That's all it done.
Hmm.
pretty much. Okay, last thing I want to talk about really quick before we end. So I've been getting into Final Fantasy a lot, right? And this isn't a Final Fantasy related thing, but it kind of stemmed from it, right? Now, the developers of Final Fantasy are pretty well known to be pretty much having their finger on the pulse of like their community, both Japanese, like so local, and Western, like communities and memes and stuff like that. And they're very well known for like making jokes that have come from like different memes about their game. Some of it being like musical orientated. Like you had most of the developers, the lead developers and community managers and stuff, right? All dressed up doing the meme dance for the twinning, which is one of the raids or like dungeons in Final Fantasy 14, right? But there's one where the main I don't forgive me because like I fully don't know his title, but I know he's like the main lead like for like the musical scores in Final Fantasy. Like I don't know what the correct title would be for that, so please forgive me on that. But he's the main lead like director for like the music scores and stuff. And he came out on stage at the I think it was at the Fan Fest this year. In fact, bearing in mind that this man has been battling like cancer and stuff, and the first thing that he does after like successfully beating like cancer, and thankfully his cancer's in remission apparently, from what was said, he comes on stage with these so in Japan you have these like musical toys called Otomatones, right? And they just look like big musical notes with like a mouth. So like your stereotypical like music note where it's like the circle with the little flick at the end, right? It kind of looks like one of those, but like the big circle is like a face and it has a mouth that you squeeze to open it up and down. And the way it plays is it's very much like a synthesizer. Oh, what the fuck is it called? Give me a second. I did have the name of it on hand. It's basically that plays like a stylophone in terms of that sort of like sound, right? So you're very sort of like uh it's really hard to describe. Basically, to cut a long story short, I watched him like meme on this one song in their game, and he's like, "Do you know Lahi?" He's like, "I will play it for you now," and it's this one song from this area in the game that's got like this really sort of amazing vocals, and he ends up like butchering the vocals himself deliberately because naturally he's not a singer, but he does like he does the musical scores and
Music,
stuff,
yeah.
So he butchers it with his singing, but then he plays this automaton alongside it, and it's the funniest fucking thing that you'll ever see.
I watched that, man. It was so random. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, so
Quite funny.
so for those of you that are wondering, I would love to play it on stream on the podcast for you guys, but obviously I can't. If you literally search LA and then space HEE, right? and look for the video which is called FF14 Masayoshi Soken, and it's Lahi. So you look for that. It's about 2 minutes 48 seconds. Watch that. It is the funniest fucking thing you'll ever see. I just love the way that they embrace fucking memes, and he just comes on and does like these fucking memes all the time. It's brilliant. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And if we get 10,000 likes, we can Froze to buy one and do a recognition for you. You can reenact it.
So here's the thing. I've already fucking bought one. I bought 2.
Bought 2.
So yeah,
Man,
so here's the
I'm
thing.
duo with you.
So here's the thing. There's a smaller one, which is like your regular automaton, but then you got the Otomatone Deluxe, right? Which is much bigger.
You got my automaton of you.
It's much bigger. It has I believe it has an option to plug it in via like a 3.0 3.5 mil jack. There's so much more to it, and it comes with like this fucking strap, so you can like strap it around yourself like it's a fucking guitar. It's the funniest fucking thing.
I didn't even know you bought them.
Yeah. If you look in the podcast chat, I think I actually mentioned about it. Yeah, it says I'm very lacking on sleep, and I made some very silly purchases. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but you did say what you bought.
Oh, let me have a look.
Is
That
the
is
one?
that is the one that I bought. Yes.
I thought so. That's a beast, man. I like the eyes at the bottom.
I bought there's 2 different ones for the deluxe. There's a white one and a black one. I bought the white
Some
Amazon
people say
Jolly.
they look like sperm.
They
Little
do a bit,
spermy
don't they?
women.
It looks like a musical note mixed with a sperm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it actually
What
looks
was
like.
I mean,
I was watching something the other day. It was saying one sperm is like so many megabytes. So it's like when someone like ejaculates, it's like 100 something terabytes of data. Oh, I need to find that info somewhere.
so the word automaton, because obviously these automatones, they are Japanese orientated. They were made by a gentleman, and so it originated in Japan, right? So the word automaton originates from 2 words, combined together. Because obviously that's what the Japanese do, right? Yeah, I believe that's the guy that made it. Flats just put the picture. Yeah. But the 2 words are tadpole and ladle, right? So that's the 2 words that create the name automaton. So basically, again, I've got the Wikipedia page up because I'm too lazy to figure shit out myself. The automaton is a synthesizer whose body is shaped like an 8th note, which is basically like a musical note, right? It says it somewhat resembles a tadpole or a ladle, and then it says the Japanese Omajakuchi. I probably butchered the pronunciation of that, which is basically the being Japanese tadpole. Yeah, it looks fucking amazing. I've seen so many that picture, man, for fuck's sake.
You see where he's got so at the bottom of this note, like you said, the bit that looks a bit like a tadpole.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of a mouth, and the guy that's this picture, he's kind of like squeezing it gently, I think. So it's like slightly opening up, and it just looks hilarious. It's wacky.
So what you do with that is like you can, if you really want, you can just play
like a whammy bar.
Yeah, it is a whammy bar. So like, so when you do it, it's like you ever like put a speaker like in your mouth and then you start opening and closing your mouth and it goes wow 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 wow. Yeah. It's like that. It's essentially that effect because the speaker for the synthesizer resides in the mouth itself, which obviously is the reason why like you can open it up and just go wow 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 wow.
I'd love to give that thing a go. Like honestly, I think I could have some fun with that.
I was watching a few videos of people playing like one of these, right? And like there's when like someone's playing a guitar and they wiggle the string and it makes it go one as well, right?
Yeah.
You can do that on the I guess the ladle of the actual thing where you would play it. and you wiggle it like in such a way that it makes that sort of sound. So you're like, "Wah, wah, 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 wah." It's really fucking cool. I'm really excited to actually get mine. I get them tomorrow actually, so I might like make a little video. Like if I'm not streaming, I'll probably make a video, and I'll
I don't
probably
quite get that picture. Sorry, I've just put a picture in, which is another picture of it, and like they're all dancing around in the front room. This family with a kid pointing at it, and it's like no one's playing it. And to be fair, I don't think it's the kind of thing on its own you're just going to be dancing like that too.
no.
It looks like that looks like a country dance.
Have you heard what these things
There you
sound
go,
like?
flat.
Yeah, yeah, man.
That's
Oh.
for me and you. That's for the beginners.
Oh, nice, mate. Wicked
Kazoos, mate.
kazoo.
I bought one
No,
of
I
those.
heard it. There's
Yeah.
no way you're going to be dancing like that to it. It's cool, but it's not like a country music dance. You're not going to have
Nah. I
Maybe.
mean, I've seen some
Make
people.
me roll, country roll.
I've seen some people play it, and some of them have made like. I mean, while it's not something that you would like jam to, it's still pretty fucking funny, pretty fucking
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, you know what
Very
you
cool.
need to learn? You need to do the Western.
I'm surprised there isn't one implemented in a comedy sketch, comedy like stand-up thing, because that would be amazing.
They
You
probably
could
have
use
been in Japan, most likely.
You
I
could probably
think-
use it quite
I
well in a
think-
stand-up.
I swear I've seen it on Britain's Got Talent.
I know it was on the Spanish Got Talent one. Got a golden buzzer.
Mañana.
But yeah, you were saying about that song. The one I want to learn that you said it is the bow 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 bow. I've been really trying. You know the one I'm on about? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
How to spell this shit?
Fair play though, mate. Let us know what it's like when you get it.
Yeah, I mean they both
Sure.
arrive tomorrow, so I'm kind of excited.
Going to be annoying the neighbours with that.
Oh mate, I'm the one good thing about the deluxe one is it has a volume slider on it, a volume
probably had
switch.
Yeah, I
Phones in
saw
it.
that. That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, it's got proper volume and
Yeah.
everything.
So the main small one doesn't, but the big one does. So obviously I'll be turning that shit down or up depending on how I feel, but mostly
Depending on
down.
the
Right?
mood.
Yeah.
Depending on when you're in a solo or not.
Yeah,
You whack it up.
yeah. I'm actually kind of excited. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty fucking funny, and it's a fucking laugh. I mean, they're kind of expensive for what they are. Like the deluxe one over here, like you can get them for about like £80 to £90, which in terms of dollars is I'm just gonna say
20?
we'll just go with £80 in dollars, right? We'll just Google that real quick. £80 in dollars. Boom. At the time of recording the podcast, £80 is $109.99 US dollars.
Voice.
Yeah. But obviously the other ones you can get, I think are about like, I think it's like the regular ones are like £40 over here, which is about the equivalent of $54.99 dollars. And that's again, that's at the time of like the currency conversion. It may be up, maybe down, like at the point of when you're listening, but as of today it is $54.99 over here and about £40. And that was for the small one, so you'd think I've spent a whole fucking amount of money on these two fucking Otomatones. I can't fucking wait, man. I'm well excited, mate. Imagine doing heavy metal on fucking one of these.
You wait for it. I've got something to.
Yeah.
Oh, I just found.
Oh fuck. Fucking Thunderstruck, amazing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait to get these, man. I can't wait. But yeah, anyway guys, I think we've been started.
Oh wow.
Yeah, damn. Okay, guys, that's gonna be it for episode number 7. I appreciate you guys listening. I'm sorry it started off on a very disgusting note, but hopefully it ends on a, oh god, the fucking puns I'm gonna make here, on a high note. Get it? Because automatone, because it looks like a musical note.
The silence is deafening.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. I'm sure there's people that heard that pun and they're like, nah, fuck this, I'm out, and just fucking ended the podcast there. Oh, but guys, I appreciate it. Thank you. So as always, I am 5 Large Fries. You can find me on pretty much any social media as that. Just spell it out, so FIVE, large fries. So yeah, if you guys want to say goodbye as well.
I've been Flatline Plays. Thanks very much for listening to us, guys and girls. And yeah, we'll probably be back next week. If you want to catch me, I'm either on Discord and Flatline Plays, or I'm on Twitch at Flatline Plays. I'll catch you soon.
Inferno Rouge /Rogue 80. Peace out. Catch you later. Bye. Beep, 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 beep.
Right, thank you so much, guys, and we will see you next week. And I'll probably play some really horrible music in the meantime when next week, because fuck yeah. Take care, guys. Right, boys, let's get crack-a-lacking.
Lacking.
I'm really lacking on sleep at the moment. It's fucking horrendous.
Sleep at 2 o'clock then, just after.
Hopefully I'll get a little bit of sleep. And
Yeah.
Because he plays Final Fantasy, dreams Final Fantasy.
Yeah, pretty much. Like if I'm
Screaming like, oh shit, I should have done that.
yeah, it's gotten that bad. I'm like, oh yeah, I could do this, and this. There's so much to do in that game, but you know, it is right. Let's let's get crack-a-lacking. Right, on 3, 2, 1. Hang on, did I even hit the fucking record button?
Probably not, mate. That's
No, I did. We're good.
Take
Right.
2.
So you might want to click that, mate. It's vital.
Yeah, imagine it. Just doing a whole podcast, and then I look and I'll go, oh, it's not recorded. Cool.
You're gonna have to get us to record it just in case as well. You know what I mean? Oh, I forgot to hit the record button again, boys. When do you send it across?
Oh dear. Right, boys, ready? Hey, how's it going, everyone? Oh, I haven't even changed the fucking episode title. Man. Really fucking up.
Take 3.
Don't, mate. You fucking sent me off.
Oh fuck. Right. Everything's sorted. We're good. Let's get ready to rumble. 3, 2, 1.